I think everyone is seeing signs of that, not because of his goals or his assists, but the way he comes into the games. You know, coming from the bench, no one likes to be on the bench. So if you are young, older, doesn't matter. You don't like to be on the bench. So the attitude that he has when he comes off from the bench is being fantastic. So I think he's being deserves the chances that he's getting, and he's getting his goals, his rewards. So that's what his football is about.
Christian, first goal for Manchester United. What does that mean to you?
Just like Bruno said, about time. I think I've owed a few, so I'm happy to get on. Yeah, it's true. But I've owed a few. I'm just happy to be on the score sheet. And of course, today in the end, the last game before the World Cup and the 3 points in the end is lovely.
It's a great story. What sort of week has it been for you? Named in the squad, obviously, to go to the World Cup and to get the goal too.
Yeah, no, it's been a good week. I mean, it started last week, of course. Finished not as good with the loss at Villa, but afterwards it's picked up and we have the point. We're through in the cup, and like I said, to the World Cup. I mean, I've worked hard to get there, so I'm happy to be gone.
Yeah, he talks there almost with a sense of relief. He says it's about time he scored for Manchester United. That got the ball rolling, of course, as far as Ten Hag's side is concerned. But the headlines will be dominated by a certain 18-year-old. Alejandro Garnacho, who's already shown glimpses of a real talent and has probably announced his arrival today, is he not, Michael?
Yeah, you definitely say so. He's going to hit the headlines. Yeah. And, of course, just to be an 18-year-old in this squad, that says it all. You know, he's obviously got an awful lot of talent. We can't wait to see more of that in the Premier League over the coming years. He made an impact today. He came on. The first couple of times he ran at his man, it didn't quite come off, but he was brave enough to keep going, and this was a lovely goal. He just feeds it inside. Look how direct he is. He feeds it inside, continues his run, and he just strokes it into the corner. No panic whatsoever.
Even when I watch it now, I'm not quite sure how he gets on the end of it, because he seems like he's second best behind Decordova-Reid, but he somehow shows a burst of acceleration, gets himself in there. But as we said, he's so direct. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball, whether he's running without the ball or running with the ball. But I really like the celebration. There's a touch of arrogance with the celebration, which I don't mind at all. Yeah. But, I mean, as you said there, with the attributes that he's got, if his work rate and his dedication to the game obviously goes alongside his skill, then there's no reason how far he could go.
There's no fear about that guy right now. You could see almost in the way that he celebrates it.
That's the beauty of being 18. It's, if you could only bottle that all your life, no fear whatsoever. You go on there with like a cockiness and arrogance, and from now on, it's all what's going on between his ears. That's the thing now. He's obviously got the talent. He's obviously got the pace, the touch, the skill, the confidence. Now it's not getting carried away, and it's what's between his ears that's going to make the difference between whether he's just going to be a one-hit wonder or whether he can have a nice career in the game.
Now, you see, this is interesting. So he's already, of course, had an effect in the first team, 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 appearances. But there have been public quotes from Bruno Fernandes and Erik ten Hag, his coach, talking about his attitude, how in pre-season he maybe arrived late on a couple of occasions, and that his attitude needed to improve. In a way, while it was questioned at the time, was it right to do that on a youngster? Will it serve him better in the long term?
I think it will serve him better. I mean, coming from the manager, I'd say, OK, fair enough. Yeah. I didn't quite like it when it came from Bruno, because I thought you've got to protect some of these young players, and I get it if there was something going on in pre-season, maybe keep that in-house, to let the senior players kind of deal with it. But the fact that the coach came out and said it, OK, you hold your hands up, but it will serve him in good stead, because everyone's seen the attributes, everyone's seen the quality that he's got moving forward onto the pitch. He can score goals, he can create. But it's about now getting on the training pitch, working hard. Maybe trying to, I know it's going to be hard playing for a club like Manchester United, but keeping a low profile, working hard, and let the rest take care of itself.
But, Michael, you don't want that to kind of raise its head again today of all days, because this is a moment where you should be talking about him positively, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, and we are. I mean, it's a big worry, though. You know, it's a big worry at 18, and the manager has already come out publicly. Bruno has come out publicly and spoken about attitude. I mean, that should be ironed out right away. I know in the Manchester United dressing room that I was in, it would be ironed out, and previous years. So I just hope this dressing room, which I think it would be strong enough to deal with it internally, as Darren says. It is quite worrying that that's been put out in the open, but hopefully he is, you know. He's got the intelligence and he's got the know-how to listen to people in experienced places and people that have been there and seen it and done it before.
But it feels like, you know, when you hear what Erik ten Hag inherited, how he's addressed certain parts of that dressing room, he is a disciplinarian, so maybe he's got the right head coach to deal with things.
Well, he has to. I think it's a massive job, and I know he was in charge of Ajax, but listen, there's a big difference between Manchester United and Ajax. Manchester United are trying to get back to where they feel they should be, and he's going to have to make big decisions. He's done that already this season. The likes of Ronaldo, the Maguire situation, he's had to make big decisions in such a short space of time. But if you look at the progression that Manchester United are showing and where they're trying to get to, you'd have to say they're making steps in the right direction. So rather than questioning the decisions that he's made, you've got to kind of praise him and say, well, fair play to you, because it looks like you've made the right decisions.
Yeah, and he's got a coach as well that believes in him, bringing him on with 20 minutes left. When Fulham look like they're in the ascendancy, he clearly has the backing of his head coach.
Yeah, and I always believe actions speak louder than words. I mean, there's an 18-year-old in a pressure situation, they need a goal, and the manager turns to him. So that's, you know, that speaks volumes. As I mentioned earlier, he ran at his man a couple of times. Early on, that first one, you know, there was shouts for penalties, but it wasn't. Again, here he gets his man one-on-one. And feeds it into Luke Shaw, who makes the overlap. It doesn't come to anything in the end, although it is a good chance. But the longer the game goes, he doesn't shirk it. He makes a good run inside there, maybe a little half a second too soon, and just gets snuffed out. But then his moment comes later on in the game, and it's just brilliant to watch. You know, look how wide he is. He's virtually off the pitch there. His first touch is good, and then he drives in. And, you know, I just can't believe this burst of pace.
Yes.
You just never think he's going to get it, and all of a sudden, it's unbelievable. Great pace and a great, calm, composed finish.
Darren?
Yeah, great finish. As I said, I keep watching the replay, and I still don't know how he got there, but it's a sign of things to come. He's making an impact coming from the bench. His starts will come. All he can keep doing is working hard, working with the players that he's got, the manager that he's got, and getting better and better.
He loved the moment. You could see it with that fist to the camera as well. Let's get some post-match reaction now, shall we? To that incredible finish at Craven Cottage. Delighted to say Manchester United centre-half Victor Lindelof joins us now, live from Craven Cottage. Victor, great to speak to you. What a way to end that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic ending to the game. I'm very, very happy for Alejandro. I think he's been doing great this past few weeks. So, and then once again he comes in and makes a difference. So yeah, fantastic.
But the winner from an 18-year-old, Alejandro Garnacho. Of course, he made his mark in recent games, notably in midweek as well in the League Cup. Tell us more about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great talent. Obviously, I mean, I think like I said, I think he's been showing his qualities this past couple of weeks, and he's been working very, very hard in training. And I mean, when he's got his opportunities, when he got the opportunity to play, he's been absolutely great, and yeah, just a great talent.
The composure was quite telling for someone which almost belied his years. Does he play with that swagger, that confidence in training as well?
Yeah, he's got great confidence, and of course, I mean, it's great to see that in such a young player. But yeah, like I said, he's got great qualities, and yeah, I'm just very, very happy for him.
Victor, how big a role do you think that the senior players have to play with young players coming through like this, just to keep their feet on the ground, keep their attitude intact? There's a big responsibility on you guys.
Yeah, of course. I think that's very, very important. Obviously, when you're a young player, I think it's important to listen to the older players who's done the journey before you. They know what it takes to get to the top. And yeah, I think Alejandro's been listening to the older players as well. And yeah, like I said, this past couple of weeks has been absolutely great. And yeah.
Victor, talk to me about the role of Casemiro that plays in front of you. You've had a lot. You've had McTominay playing in front of you. You've had Fred. But Casemiro, I mean, how much of a help is it having him in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, ever since he arrived, I think it's been great for us. He's such a great player. He reads the game well. He wins a lot of duels, and yeah, it's very, very nice to have him in front of you. It gives you a lot of confidence because you know he's always there. He's always protecting us as well. So yeah, I mean, he's been just a great player.
Finally, Victor, I mean, it's a perfect way really to sign off before the 6-week World Cup break. It's been a resurgent kind of United in terms of form. 8 wins in your last 12 in the league. What's that been down to?
We've been working very, very hard in training. We've been listening to the coaches, and yeah, like I said, just been working hard in training, and because we want to improve, we want to win, we want to compete, we want to be at the top and fight for things. And I think it's very important to have the whole squad. And today as well. Like I said, Alejandro started on the bench, but he came on and made a difference. So I think the squad has been very, very important these last couple of weeks and months as well. So I think that's been one of the key things.
Great stuff. Good to talk to you, Victor.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Manchester United centre-back Victor Lindelof live from Craven Cottage. Let's get some more post-match reaction on a dramatic late win for Manchester United. Here's their head coach, Erik ten Hag.
Erik, as a coach, is always even more pleasing when the substitutions work really well like that.
Yeah, I would say the last week we had some good choices that subs come in and have a big impact, and today as well. And it's great to have the win before the game. You asked me, is it even more important, a win before the break? And it is. It was a massive win. It's really important, and I'm really happy with this win.
Alejandro Grancho got the winner. You said previously he has to improve his attitude, but does he have that, if you like, arrogance that you have to be a big player at a big club as well, in a good way?
Yes, that is it's a big skill he has, and that is always find the balance and don't overacting, but that skill you do need definitely in the top. So perform under stress, and he came in, make a big impact, same as Thursday. So really well done.
Tell us about the substitutions you made, because it looked like in the second half, once they got back into the game, it was going Fulham's way.
Yes, but straight after halftime was a big chance to close the game. And also, I think before halftime, I think we had scored 1-2 more goals. They should also should score 1 goal, so 3-1 was, I think, a normal balance in halftime. But then we didn't score after halftime, and then Fulham came in, and they get energy, they get dynamic. We were in that moment not really in the game, and we fight ourselves back. But I have to say that goal what we get against, if we want to be really good, cannot happen.
What didn't you like about it?
When you're 1-0 up and you are playing an away game, it's not possible that the whole right wing is open.
It is now time to pause for the World Cup. So what is your assessment of your time in charge of Manchester United so far and the work so far this season? There's been notable wins over Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal. But what's your overall assessment?
I think, of course, more deeper. But I think we have a base. We go in the right direction. I think the culture has changed. The attitude, the mentality has changed. And that's good. And I think also now we improve football base. But it's always first the platform get better mentality. And we have now, you see today, I think is the symbol of it, when you get the win in the last dying seconds of the game.
Do you think that shows a unity?
Definitely. Together with the fans, you see, we are now, and I said it in the dressing room, we are unity. We are united. We have togetherness. The dressing room, the staff, the dressing room, the directors, the whole club, and the fans. There is a togetherness, and I'm really happy with that, development.
Thanks, Erik.
Please.
He certainly does say it how he sees it. What did you make of what he said just there?
Yeah, I think it's quite accurate. We said it before the game, that when you slip so far behind your main competitors, then it doesn't just come back, so quickly. It can take years and years and years. And it has taken years and years and years for Manchester United. How long ago since they last won the league? It's a barren spell that they're in. And again, we compared it to Arsenal, and they might be a year or two behind Arsenal, for that matter. But I think he's very honest. I think there are shoots of improvement that we're seeing. They're certainly not there. There's certainly going to be little trip-ups along the way. But I think everybody at Old Trafford now can see an improvement. I think the fans are encouraged by what they're seeing. Some good young players coming through. And, yeah, it might take a little bit more time, but you can see positivity coming
You've
through.
often said, actually, in that chair, it's baby steps under Ten Hag at the minute at Manchester United. And the fact they're, 5 points better off than at this stage last season, after his 4 months at the helm, how do you look back at it right now, Darren?
Yeah, there's
in similar fashion?
Yeah, in 100%. That they're going in the right direction. I know it's only 5 points, as you said, but they are 5 points better off, which means they are
going in the right direction.
They're going direction. Yeah. You know, I mean, he's getting the best out of some of the players. As I said, he's had to make big decisions, big calls on certain players, whether they play, whether they not. I think he's recruited really well in the summer as well, bringing in certain players. So I think he'd be happy. Of course, he would have liked to have been closer to that top four. Certainly, when you look at they're beating Arsenal, they're beating Tottenham, so they can mix it with the big boys. And Liverpool, of course, they don't want to miss out that result as well. He's shown that his team, on a one-to-one basis, can compete with some of these teams. So it's about consistency. But he'd be delighted where they are. But I'm sure quietly he'd like to have been a little bit closer to that top four than he actually is.
They're 3 points shy, as things stand, as you can see. They've got a game in hand on Spurs when the campaign resumes on Boxing Day. Where do they need to strengthen? In fact, do you expect them to strengthen in January?
It's always difficult, isn't it, to strengthen in January. Managers will be having plenty of time to watch the World Cup, to spot any emerging talent. You know, injuries will play a part if any team are short in certain areas. I think most people tend to prepare for the summer and do most of their business there. But if opportunity knocks, then I can see Manchester. They'll always have the funds in place. I mean, they're such a wealthy club that funds will always be there if the manager says, right, we desperately need this certain player. But at the minute, they're going along quite nicely.
Which departments need strengthening?
Well, it's tough. I mean, they've just brought Casemiro in that holding midfield role, because that was a position I thought they were crying out for a long time. And then you look at the whole centre-forward situation now. Can you rely on Martial to get you the goals? Not quite sure. Not sure Rashford wants to play down there. You've got the whole situation with Ronaldo. So I think that's probably one area where you'd probably go, OK, they probably could do with another one. But season said they're done. Where'd you go and find a centre-forward in January that's going to go and score you 20 goals per season? It just doesn't happen. So that would be the one area you'd look to probably strengthen in the summer. But right now, I think squad-wise, I think they're doing OK, actually. I think they've got more than enough in midfield, enough in the attacking areas. Maybe another full-back, right-back?
Yeah. Right-back, I was thinking right-back, yeah.
Well, we saw that today, did we not? Malacia having to fit in there as a left-back himself.
And of course...
And they were targeting that side.
Well, Ten Hag mentioned right-back area for the goal, didn't he? He says if we need to go to the next level, then we can't be leaving so much space down there. So, I mean, they've thrown a lot of money at the right-back area in recent years, but they might have to throw a little bit more at it.
Yeah. Funnily enough, 3 summer signings have played a crucial role so far this season. The likes of Martinez, Casemiro and Christian Erikson, who, as the Dane admitted, it's long overdue, his first goal in Manchester United colours. And it was a well-worked move, actually. 3 of those midfielders were all involved, particularly Erikson, with his anticipation at the back post.
Yeah, and let's be fair to him. I mean, he's been playing in a deeper role, hasn't he, in this Manchester United team? So maybe set pieces are one of his chances. But I just think here, Fulham almost concede in midfield. First player, you know, runs it too far, let's say, gets tackled. The next one comes in and probably shouldn't challenge, maybe should just buy time. And then Manchester United flood forward and score a very good goal. I mean, yes, a little bit of luck, little deflection on the cross, but I thought they looked quite dangerous today when they were attacking. Fulham did play a high line, played into their hands slightly, but I thought they were quite lively.
Yeah, 100%. I think for Erikson there, if you don't gamble and get yourselves in there, you don't get that tapping. It looks simple, but he's anticipated that maybe something might break there, carried on his run, and you get your rewards at the end of it.
Has he been their best player this season?
Arguably, yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Martinez has done very well since he's been out with Erikson. You know, we're not talking about a group of players that you say has been outstanding, but Erikson's been right up there, yes.
Yeah, I'd say one of them too, Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez.
They've been consistent. I think they're the two that at times have had dips in form, but they've been the most consistent throughout this season, I'd say.
Interestingly, though, Erik Ten Hag, in that post-match interview, did talk about missed chances for Manchester United. And this is, I suppose, been an ongoing theme, right? They need to find a regular goal scorer.
Yeah. Yeah, Darren said before. Centre forwards don't grow on trees. I mean, they're few and far between the great players the type of player that Manchester United need. Manchester United have got a lot of players that will score, you know, 10, 15 goals, but they've not got. I don't think they've got anyone that's going to score or capable of scoring 30 odd, apart from Cristiano Ronaldo, and it doesn't look like he's going to be playing as much as he'd like. So that's probably an area that Ten Hag will want to strengthen, but you might have to be patient trying to find a centre forward that's going to do that for you.
Darren?
Yeah,
was this a bad miss here, or was it a good save?
I always say it's a bad miss. I mean, it's unfortunate. I know what he's trying to do. They roll it around the goalkeeper's left. Good save, and he just reacted there. Rashford. It's quite tight as well, and it's a difficult finish. But as you said, they create so many chances and good chances like that, where it almost feels like at the crucial moment they just choose the wrong decision. I mean, that falls to McTominay. You probably would want it to fall to a Rashford or a Martial, but they create that many good opportunities that they just need somebody to finish them off, and that person is currently not in the squad, which is Ronaldo.
Yeah. We spoke about Martinez, Christian Erikson as being positives for United this season. What about David De Gea?
Yes, yeah, done fine, done well. Played well today, made a couple of good saves. I mean, he's been Player of the Year on so many occasions over the years for Manchester United. He's been a real rock. And yes, he's made mistakes, but I'd say he's had a very, very big influence on this team for many years. Probably not in a successful period, but as I say, he's been one of the shining lights for many years, and he's still going strong, obviously. He made a couple of really important saves today, and it's only when you score the winner late on, when you look back and think, wow, well, without some of these saves, then that wouldn't have been possible. So, yeah, another good game from him.
Do you think he had a point to prove today, having not been included in the Spain World Cup squad? Yeah,
someone with that experience, he'd be hurting from that, because he'll feel he's good enough to get himself into that squad. And when you look at goalkeepers from the Premier League that have been picked ahead of him, of course he's going to have a bee in his bonnet, but all he can keep doing is making saves like he's been doing. He's been doing it for years upon years, and hopefully he'll get himself back in there. But he's probably been one that, even though Manchester United in this period haven't been great, he's the one who stood up and gone, you know what, I'm not going to let my standards drop. He's kept his standards really high, and his performances have been exceptional.
Yeah, Michael?
Yeah, top class. Always has been top class. I was at the club when they signed him, so it's nice to see him going from... When he first walked through, I remember thinking, a goalkeeper? He was hardly bigger than me, and he was like so skinny. And I thought, he's not going to have the presence, but he's developed into one of the best in the world. Yeah.